everyone, and welcome to episode 23 of Video Games Ahoy. My name is Jonathan Radford, and today I'm joined by Daf Gape,
Xbox,
Daf Weeks,
PS5,
and Zach Hamilton.
The Switch?
The one console that was stolen from him is what he announces himself with.
Okay.
How are you doing,
Downer
guys?
opening.
How are you doing, guys?
very good.
all that
Good, man.
Yeah, good. Yeah. It's been I think this has been like the third week in a row we've just had so much news that I've got to have to speed through this opening bit. So, like I said, we've got a lot of news. I'm gonna let you know if this is the first time you are listening to the podcast. Then hey, how are you doing? I'm just gonna mention some stuff at the start, and then we'll go on to the big news stories because, woo, we get some stuff to talk about today. Oh yeah, we do. So this podcast is supported by a whole host of wonderful people, our lovely patrons. So to everyone that contributes, thank you. We love you. Zach, where can you find them? It's a Patreon. Patron.
The patrons from Patreon.
The patrons from Patreon. So go over there. You can find us. If you would like to support us, then please go ahead and check out our Patreon page, Video Games Ahoy. You can pay £1, £5, £10, or anything you'd like. And if you don't want to, or you can't, say this every week, it's absolutely fine. We just love the fact that you take the time out of your day to listen to us talk nonsense. That's basically what we do. As well as Patreon, you can find us on the usual websites like Twitter and Facebook. And again, if you want to see our faces, then check us out on the YouTubes because we're on there as well. Check us out on Twitch as well. We're hopefully going to have a lot of twitching soon. I've started doing some PES and some Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Dav, as ever, is our resident streamer, as I always say. But we're going to get, hopefully, a bit of Zach Hamilton doing some Last of Us 2 soon, which I'm very excited about.
Tomorrow. Not tomorrow for us, but tomorrow for if you're listening to this the day it comes out.
Yeah, the day it comes out.
Then it's tomorrow.
Yeah, man, and you saw as well. We had people on YouTube very excited to watch it as well. So hopefully, if you do watch Zach do some Last of Us 2 stuff, then check him out on this Sunday. And we're also proud to say that we are affiliated with Green Man Gaming. So if you do have any gaming needs or want to look for some delicious deals, then make sure you head over to www.greenmangaming.com. Yeah, I think that pretty much does it. Should we get into the big one?
Specifically,
yes.
Go through our link that'll be in the bio.
There we are. Go through our link in the bio. Don't go directly to the website. I'm talking.
God no! Go to the link
Don't go to the website. Go to the link. That'll help. That'll help us. Awesome. Let's go into the big stuff, which is Microsoft have bought Bethesda. That's just
Wow.
Should we start?
Mama.
Should we start there? I mean, like, all right. I'm just gonna read out what we've got, and then we can go from there because this is probably one of the biggest things in gaming for a long time. I can't remember anything as big as, like, potentially game changing as this. Hey.
what you did there.
Yeah. Phil Spencer announced on Monday that Microsoft have purchased ZeniMax Media. In a statement released on Xbox website, he said, "Today is a special day as we welcome some of the most accomplished studios in the games industry to Xbox. We are thrilled to announce Microsoft has entered into an agreement to acquire ZeniMax Media, parent company of Bethesda Softworks. As one of the largest, most critically acclaimed, privately held game developers and publishers in the world, Bethesda is an incredibly talented group of 2,300 people worldwide who make up some of the most accomplished creative studios in our industry across Bethesda Softworks, Bethesda Game Studios, id Software, ZeniMax Online Studios, Arcane, Machine Games, Tango Gameworks, Alpha Dog, and Roundhouse Studios. These are the teams responsible for franchises like The Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Wolfenstein, Doom, Dishonored, Prey, Quake, Starfield. You get the picture. With regards to the financials of the deal, according to Jason Schreier, Microsoft have paid around $7.5 billion for ZeniMax, which is a lot. Is a lot of money. Just before we move on from there, Rosie, I tried to explain this to Rosie the other day to give her an idea of how big it is, and the one way she could kind of make sense of it is not obviously on the same level, but it's kind of like when Disney bought Star Wars. like in the sense of what.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, do you know what I mean? It's kind of like it's that big of a deal in the gaming world. It's an absolutely. I mean, that's an astronomical fee for one, but I guess we'll have a chat about that first, and then we'll move on to other stuff because I want to talk about like how they go from here to exclusives and what's. Gape, let's start with you first. I mean, obviously, as someone who plays the Xbox, has the Xbox console, and has actually pre-ordered the new one. Did you?
Series X.
Series X, awesome. You actually got the Series X. Oh man, we'll get onto that later because there's been issues there, but that is awesome. How do you feel about this? Because I know when I mentioned it in the group the other day, I was gobsmacked, but at least I was able to read about it first. I just dropped it in the group, and you were just like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, absolutely crazy. Like I can't think of a bigger event of this kind in gaming. Ever. Like. You've got things like Activision and Blizzard merging. That was huge, but not in this scale. You've got Square and Enix becoming Square Enix. That was huge, but not on this scale. You've got the other Microsoft, like Mojang, or Mojang, I think it's pronounced, for Minecraft. That was $2.5 billion. You've got PlayStation getting like Insomniac, and it's like that's one studio. This is like 8. I think Microsoft have gone from 15 studios to 23 studios. So like they've increased by like 50% in one transaction. That's a lot to manage. I hope that they don't cannibalize each other and there is still room, because I mean now you've got Unavowed, which is Obsidian's fantasy RPG. You've got Fable, which is Playground's fantasy RPG, and you've got Elder Scrolls, which is Bethesda Softworks or Bethesda Game Studios?
I can't remember which one it is.
One of them.
One of them, yeah.
So, like, we're getting to the territory now where they've bought so many studios that they're starting to make games that fall into the same genre as each other. And now you've got Halo and Doom and Wolfenstein, which I think are all 3 very different games.
Yes.
But I don't know whether to be excited or concerned about the level of crossover they have in their IPs. Either way, this is fucking huge. Wolfenstein as a franchise, New Order and New Colossus are 2 of my favorite games of this generation. I'm more excited about those than I am about Elder Scrolls 6. So like, Game Pass, baby. Game Pass.
Well, that is the thing, because we'll talk about what's going to happen with those games, whether they're going to be on the PS5. We'll have a little chat about that in a little bit, because that's something we need to talk about, because there are so many things that can happen from now which could genuinely change the face of gaming in so many ways, because like when I told and I'll give you an example. When I told my brother this the other day, he just pre-ordered a PS5, and his first thought was, he loves Fallout, he loves Elder Scrolls. He was like, oh wait, if they're going to be Xbox exclusive, then if I'm weighing those 2 up against Final Fantasy, then I have to get an Xbox, because he loves those just as much as he loves Final Fantasy. But we'll get onto that. I guess with Daf Weeks and Zach, how do you feel about it? I mean, how do you feel about this situation?
That was exactly my concern. If they become Xbox exclusives, that's going to be a kick in the teeth for me.
It's going to be huge.
Yeah, that would be very unfortunate.
Yeah. How about you, Zach? How do you feel?
I don't know, man. I mean, the big one for me is the next Elder Scrolls title, which I've been umming and ahhing about for a while. But on a positive note, we were saying before, one of the big things is that it means that Obsidian and Bethesda are under the same umbrella.
That is
which
true.
Can only mean good things. I hope.
New Vegas 2.
Yeah, New Vegas 2. That's true. That's true. And a friend of mine mentioned that he felt that maybe it might encourage Bethesda to invest in some bug testing, which I would think might be a good thing.
That's a really good point. I mean, the fact that just to jump off that really quickly, it's a really, really good point, because like if they don't have to worry about budget anymore. They don't really have to worry about time constraints. They've just put Halo back by about potentially 2 years, because they could. Like that, in theory, this should mean that those games shouldn't be as buggy, because if they go to Microsoft head office and go, you know what, we need another 3 months. In theory, they should be able to go, right, yeah, we'll give you the budget to fix those before we send it out. I mean, that's probably not going to happen, because it's still going to be like, I mean, the whole thing about Fallout and Elder Scrolls is you find those bugs. Half of the experience is finding those bugs.
And that's the other thing, is some people like that. You know?
Yeah, another angle to look at it, though, is that now that Xbox owns them, Xbox can be like, well, use one of these engines that we have that aren't buggy.
Yes.
Like, use the one that we use for Halo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Use the one that we use for Gears. Like, bloody use Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
Just use anything else, please.
Literally anything else.
Because, incidentally, Bethesda are not building their own engines, presumably, usually.
Yeah, so Elder Scrolls and Fallout are on their own proprietary engine.
Right, well, then, you're absolutely right. They don't have to do that. Okay, that actually makes it, that's probably quite a good thing. I can't see those big titles, the Fallout and Elder Scrolls. I can't see them being console exclusive.
Well, that's a really good point, because we'll actually come from here with a quote from Phil Spencer. So Xbox boss Phil Spencer has confirmed that future Bethesda games could still come to PlayStation platforms and Nintendo, despite the fact that the company is now owned by Microsoft. Future Bethesda games on other consoles will be determined, and this is the quote, on a game-by-game basis. Phil Spencer also said that Xbox and Bethesda plan to honor Sony's timed exclusive deals for both Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo, as these deals were put in place before Microsoft snapped up parent company ZeniMax Media. I think, just to quickly speak about that, I think obviously what's going to happen is they have contracts in place. They're not going to, I mean, why would they go back in them? Because ultimately, what I think personally is going to happen is, you're totally right, Zach. I don't think they're going to take those off. I don't think they're going to take them off PlayStation 5. They can't anyway, or it's going to cost them millions if they wanted to, and it's just not worth it, because they'll still make money from PlayStation sales. All they'll do, conversely, is go, right, Game Pass day one. So Game Pass, you're right. So people either go, what is worth it? Am I going to spend £70 on Elder Scrolls when, as we discussed, could be buggy? You are paying more for games. Or do I go on Game Pass? I'm already spending £15 a month. I can play it essentially, I know it's not free, but essentially for free. I can try it out and not play it if I don't like it. This also, for me, the one great thing about Game Pass, and the one thing we should mention as well, is accessibility. There's so many games that people actually can't play due to many different reasons. One thing that The Last of Us 2 actually did an amazing job of, by the way. The accessibility options in that game are amazing. And something like Elder Scrolls, which is
every conversation comes back to The Last of Us 2.
I didn't say it.
No,
I didn't say a single thing.
To be fair, that I remember specifically the options in that game for accessibility are incredible. Like they did an amazing job with that, as it should be. But I just feel like Game Pass is offering, the value of Game Pass now is just, you can't deny it. It cannot be denied. It's going to have EA games on there. Even EA games on there was a relatively big deal. Now we've got Bethesda
day one, all new games.
It's
insane.
Absolutely bonkers. Yeah. And how does anyone feel like this? Yeah, Zach, how do you feel about
that? Remind me, what's the Game Pass price?
I think it's $10.99.
Yeah, I think it might be going up to 15.
That's
or maybe I'm wrong.
Good, man. I mean, Jesus,
it's
my
Netflix.
Spotify account costs that much.
Yeah.
And like, all right, that's still, I don't feel like I'm being hard done by on that. Like, I feel like that's an amazing deal for all the music I want.
Yeah.
For all the games I want, man, that's crazy. That is pretty crazy.
Especially when a game is going to cost you $70 next gen.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, exactly. But I think that's got to be a part of the they've got to be sitting there and thinking, this is because there's so many systems, so many things that are going into the subscription system. You know what I mean? You can get razors for shaving your face on a subscription now.
Yep.
And I think that a lot of companies see it as the most viable option, especially. Yeah. And maybe even the raising up to £70 is part of that. It's not just a case of things are more expensive, but also just encouraging everyone to move into that different way of looking at things. Yeah. We already do it with films and TV. You know what I mean? Like, for the most part, people are using streaming services.
Daf Weeks. I'm worried. I'm wondering, are you worried? Does this make you any worried at all for Sony and PlayStation?
No, they're still gonna do what they do. I don't think it's gonna affect their business model much. I think they've got a bit of catching up to do.
Yeah.
but I don't doubt they're in any danger of anything.
I think it's really interesting as well because Sony, for the most part, I know they had issues last week, for the most part, knocked it out of the park last week. And this is just, a lot of people, especially on, like I was reading up on Twitter, a lot of people felt like Xbox had to do something. And I don't think everyone saw this. I don't think anyone saw this. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's such a huge deal. And again, it just, I mean, they've actually said again since then that they're still looking to buy more companies. You know, what's stopping them from buying Sega? You know, to tap into the Japanese market, like
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's.
Well, people are calling for PlayStation to buy Konami.
I saw that. I was like, why Konami of all the companies? They literally they basically make Pez now, and that's it. That's all they do these days.
Not for the company, but for the IPs.
Yeah. See, that's
Silent Hill,
Silent Hill,
Castlevania.
Yeah, Metal Gear.
Metal Gear. Yeah.
Metal Gear. Yeah. So it's going to be a really interesting time. I think for me personally, and I think. To be fair, one thing I would say with Daf Gape, you've been saying probably since the start of the podcast, and I'll come back to one of the earlier episodes you actually mentioned this for the first time, is that you said, and you kind of nailed it on the head, Microsoft, they don't really care about selling their consoles anymore. It's about Game Pass, and this has kind of proved that now. It's with Microsoft, it's just going to be, how can we sell Game Pass? I mean, eventually, we all know it's eventually going to come to TVs. We know what's on the phones at the moment, but what's stopping them from making a deal with Amazon? You know, I'm sure Amazon they're not really in the same game. Amazon will go, yeah, of course we'll make a deal with Microsoft, and then you can play Game Pass on the TV with the streaming through your TV. That is an eventuality. That is going to happen. That is definitely the thing, and it's really interesting. I don't really know much else to say beyond that. Does anyone else have any final points on that before we move on? It's still going to be with Xbox, but no. All right, cool. Let's go on to. Pre-orders. So, very briefly, Xbox Series X and S pre-orders have officially opened across the world, I think. Definitely in America and Europe. However, many people on Twitter, particularly in the USA, were claiming that websites have been crashing, failing to take payments, or not confirming a complete transaction. There would be more sympathy for Microsoft if they hadn't had a slight dig at the way PlayStation handled their pre-orders last week, which is quite funny, because the Microsoft website itself was crashing due to the number of people trying to order the console. It seems to have, they've seemed to have, rectified it slightly, but it does look like pretty much all of the consoles have sold out. There is something funny I need to add to this. On top of that, it sounds like people have been purchasing the wrong Microsoft console, namely the recently discontinued Xbox One X, which saw a massive spike in sales on September 22nd. The jump into they're gonna have a rude awakening when that game console comes. The jump in sales comes on the same day that Microsoft launched the pre-orders for its upcoming Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S consoles. According to Amazon's Movers and Shakers page, One X sales skyrocketed 747% compared to the day before, with a sales rank of 331 compared to 2,804 the day prior.
Reminds me of an old lady going into game and asking for a copy of Fork Knife for her grandson.
Yeah. It's not the same situation, but it's kind of. Maybe it kind of reminds me of the Wii and the Wii U.
I was just gonna say that totally makes me think of the Wii U thing.
I think the one thing Xbox haven't done massively well is the naming of the console. They could have called it something else other than the Xbox Series X, just because obviously people can't read. So there's just been issues, but I mean you have to laugh. I mean, hopefully they'll realize and they'll cancel those. They're not even pre-orders; they're just orders. That's the crazy thing. But yeah, hopefully those people will realize before they actually get the consoles.
Well, what I think a part of it is that the 747% isn't the units. It's not a growth in how many units were shipped on Amazon. It's Amazon's ranking figures.
Yeah.
They moved up 747% in the rankings.
I think it's Xbox One X is the 11th most popular product and in video gaming, I think, and the 367th in overall sales.
Yeah, so I think some of there's only that one stat that's just 747%, and it's not about the amount of sales. I don't quite understand it, but apparently it's not about the amount of Xboxes. So it's not 7.5 times how many Xboxes were sold yesterday, for instance. It's like to do with Amazon's growth and all the rest of it. Based on what growth projection it was already on, it's risen by 747%.
and to be
I don't
fair,
know, but it's
I was gonna say, to be fair, I mean, like we kind of joke about it, but it could legitimately just be some people going, well, I can't get the next Xbox console, but I want to get Game Pass. Like it could,
I was thinking that as well.
It could legitimately just be that. It's fun. It's funny if we think that it's just people buying it because they think it's the next console, but at the same time, it could just be people buying it because they want to play Game Pass, which is fair enough.
Also, what I hope it is, just finally, is that it's people setting up bots to get the pre-order so they can ship, they can scalp it, and they haven't set their bots like accurately enough.
Yeah.
So when they run out of pre-orders, it defaulted down and bought an Xbox One X.
That would really be
that's got to have happened a couple times.
If anyone is being screwed over, I hope it's those guys, because screw those guys. Yeah. One thing I will say is Game. This is I'm not sure how I feel about this. Game has added a £10 delivery charge to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S pre-orders on the quiet. They didn't actually mention this. The UK retailer added the $9.99 delivery charge after selling out of the PS5 last week and ahead of the pre-orders for the Xbox Series X and S going live this morning. This delivery charge was applied to any pre-orders from now on, but they're not going to be retroactively applied to existing PS5 pre-orders from last week. I think that's really not cool. Like you can't do that. Like if you're going to charge that from the start, fair enough. They basically added it. So all the PS5 pre-orders have gone. So anyone that's ordering an Xbox or a PS5 from now on has to pay an extra £10 for delivery charge, and that's I don't know. That's not cool. That's just not cool. That's all I want to say about that.
Game have always done free deliveries regardless of what you buy from them.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, like you usually get free delivery if you spend above a certain amount as well. Like if you're spending £500, yeah, it's like, come on, that's not cool.
What if you buy something that isn't an Xbox Series X or a PS5?
Well, according to that, it's only added to the next gen consoles, so it just seems like it's the Xbox and the PS5, which is.
In fairness, I feel bad for them having to sell digital consoles.
Yes, I mean it's not in their interest to sell digital consoles at all.
That's true.
And the thing is as well is I think that probably for them means that like they don't want to store like the S or the PS5 no disc drive, because if you're gonna have the two consoles, you might as well have the more expensive ones, because at least you'll make some money from that. Let's move on to Sony very quickly, because Sony have actually apologized for their PS5 pre-order panic. With more to be available. They apologized in a short tweet referencing last week's horrifically organized pre-order scramble. In it, they said, "Let's be honest, PS5 pre-orders could have been a lot smoother. We truly apologize for that. Over the next few days, we will release more PS5 consoles for pre-order. Retailers will share more details, and more PS5s will be available through the end of the year." At least they owned up to the fact that it was an absolute shambles, because like I said, when me and Dad were watching their event, we were like, oh, when are pre-orders going live? And then we turned in the next day, and pre-orders had already been live, and they'd sold out. It was like, that is crazy. If you'd missed it, which I did, I woke up, I didn't read my phone, and they'd already gone. I was like, well, even if I was going to buy one, I can't now. It's gone.
Do we think this is the first time Sony's ever apologized for anything?
I mean, they don't do it very often, let's be honest. They don't like apologizing.
I mean, I really like the tweet. I really like how candid it was, but
yeah,
it's a new look for Sony. I hope it continues.
I mean, to be fair, it's not continuing for very long, because the next thing that I have is Jim Ryan of PlayStation also went on to explain the situation with certain PS5 games actually being made for both the PS5 and the PS4. He said, "No one should be disappointed about Horizon Forbidden West, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Sackboy: A Big Adventure being on PS4. The PS5 versions of those games are built from the ground up to take advantage of the PS5 feature set, and we have an upgrade path for PS4 users to get the PS5 versions for free. It's about people having choice. I'm really quite pleased about the situation." If you take that for that context, they're on both consoles. Lovely. It's fine.
On its own, lovely.
However, go back to May. The issue is Jim Ryan took a very different approach to games on both consoles when it was at Xbox's expense. And he made headlines because he made comments that were essentially at Microsoft's expense after they claimed they'd be making games playable on both the current gen and next gen hardware. and for like 2-year period, I think, isn't it, Dav? Like, to be fair to Microsoft, they said for about the first 2 years we will be making games that you can play on both consoles, which is consumer friendly and in the best possible way, really. And at least they were honest about it, but they got a lot of shit for it. Anyway, he said back then, we have always said that we believe in generations. We believe that when you go to all the trouble of creating a next-gen console, that it should include features and benefits that the previous generation does not include. And that, in our view, people should make games that can make the most of those features. Again, I don't really have an issue that both games are on like the PS4, the PS5. That's not really an issue for me. The fact is that like they whipped up a lot of people, especially like sent a lot of vitriol in Microsoft direction, and basically have done the same thing. And it's like, for me personally, you've got a lot of people excited specifically about a lot of those games. I mean, Spider-Man was supposed to be just be on the PS5. And another crazy thing as well, just I think off the top of my head, if like for instance, I've got Spider-Man on the PS4. If I get Spider-Man on the PS5, I can't transfer my save data.
Nope.
Which seems mad because it's going to be the same game with the graphics tweaked a little bit, but I don't know.
And what's crazy is the only way you can get Spider-Man PS5 version is with the deluxe Miles Morales.
Yes, so you got to pay more for it as well.
You can't get it on its own, and you can't get it physically.
Nope.
And so it really confuses me, like what their messaging is, especially around Spider-Man. Because do you remember when they did that video leaked of them showing Spider-Man PS4 running on a PS5, and how quickly they were managed to go through all because they were evaporating loading times, and they were like, "Oh well, it wouldn't be possible for Spider-Man to go through the streets at the speed that we want him to on the PS4. On the PS5, it will be. Look at this new Spider-Man game that will also be on PS4, so it's impossible for us to do what we said we wanted to do."
Yeah.
So what are they doing? Like, I love the fact that it's on both.
Yeah, it's great.
And that's great. I love that. But combine that with everything Sony's been saying until now, it just baffles me.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly how I feel. It's like, it's fine that they're on both consoles. Again, it's actually great for consumers, especially for people who can't afford the next-gen consoles. Like, I doubt I'll be able to afford a next-gen console now until at least the middle of next year, if I'm being completely honest with myself.
Weddings, eh?
Yeah, weddings. Like, don't. But,
Ooh,
at the same time, it's like, I don't know. It just feels like they took a pot shot at Microsoft, and they used that to get people whipped up into a frenzy about how the fact the PS5 is going to be better than the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S, and then they've actually gone back on that. I haven't actually even apologized for anything as well. They've just gone, "Yep, they're on both consoles," like as if nothing has gone before it. It's just there just doesn't seem to be any self-awareness from my perspective on the situation. That's how I'd feel about that. Right, let's move on because we've got still loads to talk about, and this is a bit more fun now. So, Naughty Dog has a lot of exciting things planned. As there's going to be on the 26th of September, The Last of Us Day, which I guess should be sponsoring this channel at this point. The Last of Us Day is a new name for an annual event that celebrates the series and its community, which was until this year called Outbreak Day. In a statement on Twitter, Naughty Dog said the event has been renamed in light of the coronavirus pandemic. Probably about right. For the last 7 years, September 26th has been an opportunity to recognize and celebrate the incredible passion of the Last of Us community, which is, I think, the president is Zach Hamilton? I think this is from you, isn't it? That you wrote this.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
However, as we thought about the events of last year and the challenges we all continue to face with COVID-19, we didn't feel right continuing under the Outbreak Day banner. We have a lot of exciting things planned, and we can't wait to share them with you in just a few days. I think, Zach, you can take the lead on this, but I think we were talking yesterday potentially about multiplayer. Do you think that is what's going to be announced?
Yeah, nah, they'll do... they'll talk about multiplayer, and then they'll do a small mention of DLC, but I think the DLC will come before the multiplayer. By the looks of the last that we heard from the multiplayer, it looks like they're doing a lot to it, more so than they did with The Last of Us 1's multiplayer, and there has been some rumors about it being its own standalone game. Now, I doubt that, but I don't think that it will be... It'll definitely be paid DLC. It might be not cheap paid DLC. I don't think it's going to be its own game. I think that's unlikely. So my bet actually is that the DLC could come out in the next month or two.
Maybe like an announcement on the 26th, but actually not a reveal on the 26th. Is that? Oh, well, not a real.
I think so. I think it'll be like check out multiplayer, and then right at the end they'll do a shot of Joel, and they'll be like, ooh, it's Joel, and Joel will look a little bit different, a little bit younger or some shit. Excuse my language. and then it'll be like DLC coming November 2020, and everyone will go, oh, I get to be Joel again. And it'll be like, just go play the first one if you want to be Joel so badly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm still sour about the sourness regarding Last of Us 2. Yeah, so that's my guess. I don't know what you guys think.
Well, I was going to ask Daf Weeks, actually, because, Daf, did you ever play the multiplayer for the first game?
No, never.
Because, well, I actually said to Zach the day, I don't know how the multiplayer operates, because I didn't play the multiplayer in the first game.
It's good.
Either. So, I mean, obviously, like, the three of us can play, a multiplayer, and Daf can silently watch with a tear.
Crying about it.
But he can support us. As a
would you guys get into the Last of Us multiplayer, do you think?
Well, I think it's just more we give it a go. Yeah, I think that's more. I would give it a go. I definitely give it a go. If it meant there's a game that we could play on multiple Mondays or something like that, we could at least give it a try.
If I had a PlayStation whatever, I'd be well up for that.
The PlayStation Now service.
Quickly want to throw in my 2 cents.
Yeah, go.
They could make the multiplayer free to play, separate to the game, or sort of how Modern Warfare does it, and
that's
available
very plausible
day and date PS5.
Yeah, that's very plausible.
That's a good shout. Yeah,
that's probably true.
It's about 2 months
away. PS4 as well, but
yeah. I actually hadn't thought about the kind of new model for multiplayer, because what I was actually just going to say is the multiplayer for Last of Us 1, in most respects, feels like sort of the 2010s generation of multiplayer, in so much as it's Team Slayer or whatever you call it. I'm doing Halo expressions. Team Deathmatch.
Yeah, Team Deathmatch.
And it's very like, it's very limited in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But as someone who grew up with multiplayer at that time, I'm more into that than I am the sort of modern massive thing.
Yeah.
Which I still think is great, but it's
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not really into the huge levels. I like smaller teams and stuff like that. But I'll definitely try it out, though. We should definitely have a go at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, Last of Us Day on September 26th. Another really fun thing for today. 4 more classic Nintendo games are now available, I should say, on the Nintendo Switch online service. Most noticeably is the addition of Rare's 1995 release Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy Kong's Quest. Diddy's Kong Quest.
Diddy's Kong Quest.
That's so weird. Why is it Diddy's Kong? That should be Diddy Kong's
Kong Quest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
but it's still,
pun,
it's
no,
I know, but I read it and I was like, what am I saying?
Johnny.
What am I saying? I don't understand comedy. It doesn't make sense to me. The 2 other games for SNES. Yeah, sorry. The SNES include Mario's Super Picross by Jupiter, releasing for the first time in the US, and The Peacekeepers by Jellico. I don't know that one at all.
Jellico, yeah. Jellico,
Cats, is it?
they're a weird one, but yeah, Jellico Ball, yeah. We'll
Last
talk about that
but not
another
least
time,
is
but they're a weird one. They're interesting.
Sci-fi shoot 'em up. I don't know. Is it SCAT SCAT Special Cybernetic Attack Team for the NES? Scat. Yeah. Beyond that as well, and this made me and Rosie specifically quite sad. Fire Emblem: Mystery of the Emblem is also available on Japan's Super Famicom app, but keep in mind all of the text is in Japanese, which is a beautiful language, but I do not understand Japanese, so I can't play it. But it is on there, so if you want to try that, you can set your settings to Japan, and you can download that game as well. But again, it's all in Japanese. If you're willing to, I guess if you could get like a Google Translator on the go, and you're willing to type it or screenshot it, you could do that. But you could try that. Yeah.
Could use one of those apps where it's like a camera and it like hovers over it and then it translates it for you.
You could do. That's a really good. I mean, I guess Google Translate does that as well. Because I had that on my phone. It does. So when I was in Germany for when I met Zach in Germany, actually, I actually used that to speak to someone in Germany. I was using Google Translate, talking into my phone, and they were talking back to me as well. Tokyo Game Show is live. Sorry, I can hear music. Tokyo Game Show is live.
There?
That was me looking at the NES and Super NES.
Tokyo Game Show. That's what I heard as well. Tokyo Game Show is live and will be running from September 23rd to 27th. Companies at the show include TGS Official, Bandai Namco, Capcom, Koei Tecmo, Konami, Level 5, Sega, which is also Atlas, and Square Enix. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity has a showing on Saturday at 2 p.m. UK time, and it's about an hour long. So if you're a fan of Zelda, which I most certainly am, but sadly I'm working, then check it out. Any of you guys going to check that out, the Zelda stuff at 2 o'clock?
Not on the dot, but I will be catching up with
what's
announced and stuff.
I'll catch it up later as well.
Up.
Yeah. Awesome. There's that. Final notes. Very quickly. So the Rayman and Beyond Good and Evil creator Michael Ansel has announced he's leaving the video game industry. The designer who'd been working on Beyond Good and Evil 2 and the adventure game Wild claimed in an Instagram post on Friday that he decided to focus on a new career in wildlife. He said, "Today is very special for me. After more than 30 years, I've decided to stop working on video games and fully focus on my second passion, wildlife. My new project takes place in the real world and consists in a wildlife open sanctuary dedicated to education, nature lovers, and wild animals." I just wanted to mention that very quickly because, I mean, Rayman is such a great series. Like the what's it called? Is it Rayman Legends? That is genuinely one of the best 2D platformers I've ever. That level is so good. When me and Rosie first played that level, honestly, we were like smiling so much. It's such a great level. And I just wanted to mention that briefly because I feel like he's had a huge impact in the video game industry, and I hope he has a wonderful retirement of sorts, at least from the video game industry.
His retirement is building a wildlife sanctuary in the middle of France.
It sounds
that's amazing.
Can you get more wholesome?
Yeah, he's
honestly,
he's gonna have fun. Let's just say that. So happy retirement to him. Last but not least, and very briefly, this is a reminder to you all that the Untitled Goose Game multiplayer DLC has just been added to the game. So honk away with a pal. Sadly, it is not online multiplayer, but you can do online multiplayer with a PS4. I think you can do it there's a way of doing it on the PS4, which is very simple, but you can't do it on the other consoles. But it is life, so I'm definitely going to try and do that with Rosie at some point. And actually, very, very briefly, very, very quickly, today is the 131st birthday of Nintendo. It was made 131 years ago today.
We should all get some Hanafuda cards to celebrate.
Yeah. But there we are. That is the news, gents.
Hang on, before we move on, Johnny,
yes.
Can I make a formal request to have you and Rosie stream Untitled Goose Game 2-player? Because I think that would be the cutest stream in the world.
I will definitely
I don't want to see a marriage end.
Oh wow.
Well, to be fair, most of it will just be like me like being really naughty and then Rosie like telling me off. Like, don't do that. He's just trying to do his job. Leave him alone. But yeah. Let's move on to and I hope this is okay. I'm gonna just think really naughty. I'm gonna start off with my game this week because I think I might have a lot. I think Daf Weeks might have a lot to add on to what I'm about to say. But Daf Weeks, if you want to talk about something else as well, you can. Now, the reason why I want to talk about it is because I feel like I need to get this off my chest. I've been playing the Mario 3D Collection, the All Stars 3D Collection, 3D All Stars. I can't remember which order it is, but anyway. I have a few things to say, just with regard to the 3 games. Firstly, I've been doing something which kind of makes me a bit sick and annoyed at myself. However,
in the wrong order.
I'm not even I went in the wrong order. I'm playing all 3 at the same time, and I'll explain why. So basically, I started off on Mario 64 online, and then I got about 2 hours into my stream. I was like, I really want to keep this to just online because I know this game so well that I'll complete it relatively quickly, so I'll do that. I then started playing Sunshine, and I got about 20 stars in, or shrines in, and realised what a janky mess that game is. Got so frustrated on the pachinko level, thought, right, screw this, I'm going to play Galaxy. Galaxy might be the best Mario game. Just saying, and I am shocked by that. Yes, yeah, it might be the best.
You've not played Galaxy before, have you?
No, I've not played Galaxy of before. So I just want to say to you, like, as someone playing it now, it is, I would say, the strongest narrative of any Mario game I've played. Like, in the sense that, like, you are completely immersed in the world from start to wherever I am now. I'm only about, I think I'm about 40. I think I've collected 40. Are they stars? What are they?
Moons.
Yes. I can't remember. Are they moons? Are they stars? I can't remember which one it is. Because I think moon's in Odyssey.
Yeah. Up already.
Don't get me wrong, I love Odyssey, and Odyssey is still one of my favorite games of all time. But I haven't completed Galaxy yet. But my experience of like if I had to like describe them each by one word, I would say like Mario 64 is iconic. I would say Sunshine is janky. It's not bad, but it's janky. It is.
Okay.
And maybe Galaxy is just simply breathtaking. I honestly, there's been so many moments, and I've probably played Sunshine and Galaxy for about the same amount of time, and Rosie keeps getting annoyed at me because I keep flipping between the two, and she's like, 1 minute you're trying to like clean the town, and the next minute you're flying through space. Just pick a game. And I'm like, I can't. I can't pick it because I'm trying to go back into Sunshine. I'm like hoping that the issues that I've got with the game are to do with like me because I'm shit, and it could very well be that. But it's not me, because I've seen so many people online having the same issues, and it's so frustrating. I think I love so much about Sunshine, but it genuinely still feels like it's unfinished, or it feels like it was rushed.
It definitely was rushed.
Like,
I mean, they were trying to get it out with the GameCube. Like,
yeah,
that was really important for them.
Yeah,
and I will give you that. But I don't think that the pachinko machine represents the.
Oh, I beat it. By the way, I did that. I did it. It still annoyed the hell out of me.
I think what I say, the pachinko machine is dog shit. Like, it's just.
It is so bad.
It shouldn't exist.
It's so bad.
But I don't think that represents the game. I think that's the minority, and also it's none of the. It is none of the stuff you have to do.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You can avoid
you can avoid that.
There are only I think there are only a handful of dog shit levels, and they are avoidable.
Yes, that I would agree with that. All the most annoying moments are those moments where like you get your jetpack taken off you, or your water pack taken off you, Flood, and you have to do things so weirdly, just as Mario, which you should think should be the strongest part of the game because they've gone from Super Mario 64, and there's not only the hardest, but the glitchiest. And the most frustrating.
No,
honestly,
those are the best bits in the game. They're so fun.
Honestly, man, like
oh my god, I love those sections.
Because the last time I played it was about when it came out. I haven't played Super Mario Sunshine for a long time, so in my head, like I must have had like a romanticized idea of how great the game is, and I will say this: it's got so much charm and got so much going right for it. But the problem is, it's kind of like the highs are really high, but the lows can really be really low.
Yeah,
and I think. I don't think it's I wouldn't necessarily say it's the worst Mario game, but you can definitely tell that it's by far the jankiest. I'll leave that for there for now because Daf Weeks has been playing it as well. I want to see what Daf Weeks has got to say on the situation. Yeah, Dav, you go if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So like, other than Tony Hawk, it's been this. I was playing Tony Hawk until the day this came out, and then it's just been Mario 64 since.
Bye, Tony. Bye, Tony.
Bye, Tony. You can come back later.
Yeah.
I am playing them in order. I have not been jumping around. I have just been doing Mario 64. And, I'm in love again.
Yep.
It's so nice. And, like, I'm coming into this now with, how long is it? 23 years of retrospection?
I think it came out in 96, yeah. So
20, yeah.
For us, it'd be 97, so yeah, 23 years.
97, and it's like, and here's the crazy thing, when I did my maths, it's like 1985 till 1997, and that's a huge jump in technology.
Yep.
But like, just think how far we've gone since then.
Yeah.
Yeah, a huge amount of time has passed. And what has been kind of molded in Mario 64, like the tropes of it, have just carried on through for the next 20-something, what is it, 24 years?
Yeah, I just want to say briefly, but before you carry on, it was also Nintendo's first 3D game. It was their first go at doing a 3D game, and it's still so good. It's so much of it still works.
Fox.
Oh, first 3D
Not real 3D.
Yeah, yeah. But you know what I mean? It's like their first...
Yeah, and to be fair, Star Fox is dog shit, so...
3D platform, absolutely.
Yeah.
And they've done a great job. And there's so many weird little quirks in it that didn't cross my mind when I was 10 years old, you know? And just like, it's as if someone's kind of going, let's just put this here. Might work. You know, like, let's see if they can walk across the narrow plank. Here's a boxy punch and it'll do like a few jumps for you. It's like, I don't know, we'll just invent it and we'll put it there. And so many little bits of that game just seem so bloody random.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right. And then like you just tell that going on. Then it's like, well, those things didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
These things are great. We'll keep this kind of game mechanic in future games. It's so weird.
Because I would totally agree with that as well. Because I would say as well, on top of that, is that like the things they've got wrong were things they were doing for the first time, so you can kind of let them off for that. Like for instance, they got the camera is not the best camera in the world, but it's not unplayable, you know. But yeah, I was really enjoying playing Mario 64. The fact that like I made a specific choice to actively keep playing it on stream, so like I knew that I had to put that down. But are you looking forward to playing Sunshine?
Yeah, I am, because I do have fun. I don't think I ever completed it. What I would say about Sunshine is I love the setting.
Yes.
I think it's really cute.
It's so charming.
I love the aesthetic. I love Delfino Plaza. It's...
And I said at the time, actually, and I actually mentioned on stream the other day when we were talking about it, that the channel, the music for this channel was inspired by it's actually inspired by the theme from Super Sunshine.
Yeah.
So when you hear it, it's like, oh, of course it is. It's like he was inspired by that, and because I just think it's such a jaunty. The music's great. The music's great. The setting is great. I just feel like the moments, for me personally, and it seems like a lot of other people agree online. Just there's a few moments that just like it just feels slightly unfinished. Personally, but yeah. Are you looking forward to playing Galaxy? Because I know you actually said to me that Galaxy is you've played Galaxy, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Like, here's the thing. Like, I enjoy it every time I play a Mario game. I just do, regardless of which title it is. I know I'm gonna have fun. It's. I've yet to be like completely disappointed by a Mario game. You know, it's just something I have faith in. It's something I enjoy indulging in, you know?
Yeah.
So I can't wait to get to them. Ooh. But like I don't care which game I play in which order, because I know I'm going to have a great time either way.
Yeah, I just want to add one thing when I talk about music very quickly. Super Mario Galaxy definitely has the best music in a Mario game. The music in that game is phenomenal. It's unbelievably good. Like, I think what's one of the earlier levels when you're like first flying to the sky and the music is so
Gusty Gardens.
Yeah, I get one of those, and it's just like the music as you're.
That's the moment. That's definitely the moment where it's that section where you're flying on the little.
Like you get goosebumps as you're flying on the planet, awesome. And like all you can see is the universe around you, the galaxy, and everything else. It's like, oh my god, it's so incredible. It's just that's all I want to say about that. Dav, do you have anything else to add about the game? Because I feel like if I keep talking about it, I could talk about it all day.
Yeah, I'm just really excited to get through it. You know, like I started playing it, and then I just had such a lovely little squee of like little 10-year-old Dav jumping out and having so much fun with it. Yeah, and it's all there, all the nostalgia, just little memories of like little secrets, like a little teleport hole in the side of the mountain in the bomb fields. Just all that kind of shit. Yeah. Just instantly knowing how to solve a puzzle. Knowing exactly where to point the cannon to get onto the floating island.
Yeah.
It was all in there, you know?
Same here, but the cannon on the island was, for me, it was like the tree, just above the tree, right on there. Like, it was great. Dav, I'm just going to... Zach, what were you going to say? I got to move on already, but...
I have a question that someone mentioned online when the game was released. You know, with Flood in Sunshine... You know, in the original game, you had like the R button would kind of like go halfway down, and that meant you could run and shoot. But if you clicked it all the way, and then you would stop and point. Yeah. How does that work on the Switch?
It's just two buttons. One, and it's just full power. 2 buttons, full power. One stops and shoots. One just shoots. And that's it. Like as you run.
That's a loss, I think.
It is a loss. I love that.
Something really satisfying about the. Yeah, I like the GameCube controller. I think it's great.
No, a GameCube controller is one of the best controllers of all time. Personally, for me, I think it's great.
GameCube controller is trash.
We don't have time for this. We could fight all day. But let's talk about games. Let's talk about who wants to talk next? Zach, Dav.
I'll go. It's only a quickie. No.
Oh, you go.
I played Telling Lies, which is the sequel to Her Story.
Nice.
Which was very highly regarded when it came out.
Yep.
It's an FMV, so it's like live video, not live. Humans. With some known actors. One of the female actors is from Westworld.
Nice.
Really cool. You basically go through the game by you're a woman on a computer, and then you type in keywords and find documented video footage of them talking on like video calls. You're trying to piece together what the story is. Really cool. I think it's not quite as good as the original. The original had one character, and you just had to like go through it all, and just really like obtuse puzzle. Yeah. But like this one, it's really cool. Feels like you've got an ending to it. It's really nice. Really cool game. If you see it on sale, definitely grab that. It's not too expensive anyway. So.
Awesome. Great. Is that it? That was very quick. Very quick.
That was quick. I'm looking it up now. It sounds really cool.
Yeah.
It is really cool. It's directed by Sam Barlow, who's a very good writer.
I know Sam Barlow. What did you do?
I was going to say just briefly, a game that some of you guys might enjoy, and I've seen getting really good reviews, is Hades. That has been getting insanely good reviews on like everywhere. Just thought I'd check that out there if you are listening and you fancy a game. I think that's something we should start doing is just start throwing out recommendations and stuff. Just seeing maybe that might be easier than doing game reviews or stuff or whatever. Anyway, Zach, very quickly, what were you going to say?
Cool. Okay, so I wanted to bring it up because it's probably a game we're going to talk about. Someone's going to talk about at some point because everyone's been streaming it and everyone's doing it. It's not a game that just came out. It's a game that came out 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Called Among Us. I don't know if you guys have seen the streams. Yeah. So I started to play Among Us last night. Well, okay, so I tried to get it on Steam, but you can't play it on Mac, so that was annoying. But you can get it for free on your phone, and it runs really well. It's a really simple game. You know, it's Wink Murder, basically, but in game form. Yeah. In, video game form. And I played with a group of 5 friends, me and 4 other people. You can play online with strangers and whatever, and you could just, it's all good. I'm assuming that anyone listening to this kind of knows what the game looks like and stuff. Go and have a look it up. There are a lot of streams of it at the moment. Yeah, so I just sat and played with like 5 friends, and we played for like 3 hours without even noticing. We just like got to the end of the session. We were like, oh shit, we need to go to bed. I had loads of fun with it. It's a really like social game. It's very like, I don't know how I would feel especially about playing it online with strangers. I did it for a little bit just to try it out, and it works fine. But I think if you have a solid group of friends and you all have phones, which I know you all do, because that's probably how you're listening to this. And I don't even think it's loads of memory. I think it's only like, I don't know. It's a small amount of memory, I'm pretty sure. In fact, I was going to suggest that we do a multiplayer Mondays of it because...
Oh, cool.
Yes, please. I've just had a look. It is crossplay because I own it on Steam, but I just haven't found anyone to play it with.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I think it's like £4 as well.
£4.
Yeah, it's £4 on Steam. It's free if you get it on your phone. So
yeah,
just going to say, Hoy is in the other room right now doing exactly that, playing Among Us.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Get Hoy to come and join us for a Multiplayer Monday. That would be awesome.
That sounds great. Awesome. Anything else, Zach? Anything else on Rad?
Do you want
to move on to the
quiz? Suck at it, so I'm not very good.
All right, let's leave it there for games.
No,
I think it's time. Oh, go.
No, Tony Hawk's.
Oh yes.
Warehouse.
Oh, that's
yes.
right.
That's
Did you beat
true.
the score?
Boy, did I! So what was the score in the end? It was 232-ish, I think it was.
Yeah, something like that. It's a bit higher than that now, but not much higher.
Dav, by next week, you need to get 352,852.
352,
baby!
52.
Yeah, 352,852.
Do you know what I really love is that you beat that in 1 week. There's definitely going to be some people who would listen to the first podcast and we all freaked out when Dav did his score. Goes, they're such noobs. Like that.
Believe me, there are people with easily cracking 500,000.
Great. All right then. Should we do?
You're on.
Should we do the old quizaroo?
Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna have to message you my answers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Message me your answers if you need to. Awesome. We'll try and skip through these quite quickly, just because we're gonna go like.
Sure. Should we just say no multiple choice unless you have to have it?
Should we just say no multiple choice? That way you just kind of have to guess. You kind of completely on your. I've got multiple choice, but let's just say no multiple choice, and you just gotta guess.
Just smash it.
Yeah. Here we go. Question number 1. What was the first game to break 1 million sales? Video game sales.
Home market.
Temptation.
Home market. Home console market. Yeah, home console.
Okay.
1 million.
1 million. This is, like I said, this is I can only go by what the information I was given, but Home console, 1 million. Do any of you guys need more time? And throw out your guess.
I'm ready.
I'm just about to type it. I'm typing it. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, send it to me in 3, 2, 1. Daf Weeks, what's yours?
Super Mario Brothers, the original one.
Daf Gape?
Pac-Man.
Daf Weeks? Daf Zach?
Daf Zach. I also said Super Mario Brothers, the original.
It was Space Invaders. That was actually the first one. Space Invaders.
Get that on a home console.
I looked it up online. Apparently, it was on the Atari 2600. Yeah, it was on the Atari 2600.
Whatever.
Gosh, of course it was.
Question number 2. According to Hyrule Historia, the Zelda timeline splits into 3 paths after Ocarina of Time. But which game, according to Nintendo, follows on from Ocarina of Time in the path where Link is defeated by Ganon?
Oh shit!
So in the path where Link is defeated by Ganon,
there are 3 paths. So one of the paths is you defeat Ganon and you become the child. The next path is one where basically the world where adult Link had won, and then one is where you defeated Ganon. Which which game follows the Ocarina of Time path? I know it's confusing, but I just thought it'd be a really fun question. See which one of you get it. Throw out your guesses. 3, 2, 1.
Oh wait, I know. I should have.
I haven't got one from you, Dav. Oh, see, so okay. So, Dav Weeks, what did you go with?
Twilight Princess.
Dav Gape?
Skyward Sword, but I wish I said Breath of the Wild.
And Zach?
Definitely not Skyward Sword. I've said Zelda 2. It's either Zelda 1 or Zelda 2, I think.
It's Link to the Past.
Oh, really?
Yes, Link to the Past. Yeah, Apparently, it goes Link to the Past. I think it's like Link to the Past, the Oracle. I think it's the Oracle games. But yeah, apparently the original Legend of Zelda is not like it's quite relatively new in the I guess their timeline version anyway.
Skyward Sword,
which is bullshit.
Skyward Sword's right at the beginning, I think.
It is. Skyward Sword is the original game. Okay. Is the original game. Question number 3. When the Xbox initially released, it had 3 major launch titles: Halo, Project Gotham Racing, and a game from a famous fighting series. What was the game?
Original Xbox.
Yeah, the original Xbox. Yeah.
I'm ready.
What were the other 2? Sorry,
Halo, Project Gotham Racing, and a famous fighting game. A famous game from a fighting series. What was the game?
Got it.
I'd be impressed if you get this. Very impressed.
I think I might have it.
Okay. I've got a feeling you do too. You know a surprising amount of like original Xbox facts, especially when it came to like Fable the other day as well.
Do you need to know the franchise or the game?
It's a game from a famous fighting franchise. Yeah, so I need to know the
franchise name or the actual game.
I will accept the franchise name, but I would rather if you get the specific.
Sure. I'll go for a specific one. All right.
Okay. Okay. In the count of 3, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Zach, what did you go with?
Soul Calibur.
Daf Gape.
Dead or Alive 2.
Daf Weeks.
Tekken.
Right. Okay. So one of you has actually got an answer that is very close to it, and I'm unsure whether I'll ask you guys. The answer is Dead or Alive 3. Now, do I let Dav have that?
You can have that point.
Give you that. I mean, I'll give you that just because.
We were even close.
Yeah, it's you said Dead or Alive and you threw a guess out there. I'll give you that. I was
convinced there was a Soul Calibur game at the beginning of that.
Yeah, I think it was 2. I think it was 2 because they had a Link in the GameCube version.
GameCube one, yeah.
Okay, question number 4. How many Mario Party games there are on the N64?
Oh Jesus. Okay, no, I think I know this.
Okay, it shouldn't take you long to throw out a guess, so let's just try and get answers as AQAP. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Dav Weeks, what did you go with?
3.
3. Zach, what did you go with?
3.
Daf Gape?
4.
It was 3.
Damn it!
I had Mario Party 4 on the GameCube.
Great. So I'm gonna I am gonna give you 4 options in the next one, but I'll tell you them very quickly. Okay, I'll read them straight off. What is the best-selling game on the Game Boy Advance? The reason why I have to tell... Oh, should I tell you? No, do you know what? I'm not going to tell you. Throw out a guess. What's the best-selling game on the Game Boy Advance?
It's fucking Tetris. It probably is.
I will accept Tetris.
I feel like my answer is kind of cheating, but also not. Depends on whether this counts.
Are you guys going to answer?
I know what you're on about. I think that's pretty much the same thing.
You guys ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Ready.
3, 2, 1. Daf Weeks, what do you go with?
I know it's not right, but Advance Wars, just because it needs the shout out.
Advance Wars.
I've heard so many good things about Advance Wars.
Guys, play Tiny Metal on Switch or anything. Tiny Metal.
Is Tiny Metal essentially Advance Wars?
It's what you want. It's what you want from Advance Wars.
Okay. Daf Gape, what did you go with, sorry?
Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald.
And Zach, what did you go with?
I said the same, yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, yeah. That was question number 5. Okay, question number 6.
Wait, did we get it right?
Yeah, you got it right.
That seems so cheap. That's like 3 games.
Yeah, well, it was Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. In Japan, they Ruby and Sapphire they consider it one game.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. Well, it's the same game, isn't it?
It is the same. It's not. It is, but it is not. But it is. Question number 6. Which famous English actor provided the voice for the character Weekly in Portal 2?
I've actually never played it, but I do know this.
Torn between 2 people, but I've put one down.
All right. Do you guys got a guess?
Got it.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Zach, what did you go with?
Stephen Merchant.
Daf Weeks?
Stephen Merchant.
And Daf Gape?
Stephen Merchant.
The answer was Mackenzie. No, Stephen Merchant. Stephen Merchant, of course it was. He's brilliant in that as well.
He's so great.
Perfect for that game. All right, question number 7. A 1993 United States Senate committee hearing on violent video games focused on 2 recently released titles, one of which was Mortal Kombat. But what was the other game?
Damn it, that was going to be my guess. Which year?
1993.
Ooh. The game I'm thinking of, I know for a fact they got upset about in America, but it's not super well known as a game.
Could be right. So it was Mortal Kombat and something else. Specifically those 2. There were a few other games, but the one I'm looking at right now is the very specific one that they focused squarely on.
I'm just going to go with the answer I have.
Okay.
Guys, got a guess?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. What are your guesses?
There's a car game that I think it might have been, but I went with Night Trap.
Okay. So, I was going to say, so the answer is Night Trap. Yeah, the answer is Night Trap.
Oh, yeah!
Of course it is.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The answer is Night Trap. So the answers I was going to have is Sewer Shark, Corpse Killer, Night Trap, and Dracula Unleashed.
Nice.
They're all real games, but Night Trap is the right one.
Yeah.
Question number 8. The final licensed NES game released was The Lion King, but which year did it release?
On the NES, you said?
On the NES.
Okay, I've got a year.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Daf Weeks, what did you go with?
94.
Daf Gape?
96.
And Zach?
I went with 95.
It's 95!
Yeah!
95. Well done, Zach. What was the first game with the character Bowser Jr.? Very specific. What was the first game with the character Bowser Jr.?
That's a good question. Well done.
I have one a week. I'll have one good question a week. The rest are garbage.
Alright, I've got one.
Alright. Do you guys want to answer, all of you? Okay.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Daf Weeks, what did you go with?
Mario Sunshine.
Zach, what did you go with?
I'm pretty sure it's wrong, but Sunshine.
And Dav, what did you go with?
Mario Paint.
The answer is Super Mario Sunshine.
Okay, nice. Okay,
Yeah,
sweet.
so-
I thought it might have been one of the Yoshi Island games.
So basically, if you look it up as well, there is a character that looks very similar to him, but it's not actually Bowser Jr. The first time
there's like
he's
Baby
introduced as
Bowser,
Jr.
and then there's the Koopa Kid or whatever. There's loads of that bullshit.
That they're not actually. It's not actually
Not
Bowser Jr.
Jr.
Question number
Tell
10.
you what, though, when you heard me say Mario Paint, I bet you were like, "Oh fuck, really?"
Yeah, it could have been.
I was like, God. Who's the main antagonist of Banjo-Kazooie?
Good question.
Do you guys have
I'm
an
not
answer?
sure if I've got the person's name right, but I've gone for a guess.
Okay.
And then
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Daf Weeks, what did you go with?
It's a green witch. It's Grindelwald or something like that.
What did you say? Grindelwald, Daf Gape,
Gruntilda.
and Zach?
It's Gruntilda.
Right. The same way that I give Daf Gape points, I'm very inclined to give Daf Weeks points, but I'm going to ask you two. There's Grundlewilder. He got the first part right.
Grindelwald.
Is it really Grindelwald?
It was no, I said Grindelwald. I knew it was Germanic and started with Grund.
I can't give it just because Dead or Alive was like I kind of said he could get the franchise. Grindelwald.
Johnny, I would have given it to him, but the way he's chatting about it afterwards, I'm very inclined not to.
Dav, I'll give you half a point. How about that? I'll give you half a point for getting half of it right. Okay, which of these games released first? The Secret of Monkey Island, Prince of Persia, Wolfenstein 3D, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sorry, say all those again. I was looking at Gellert Grindelwald.
Which of these games released first? The Secret of Monkey Island, Prince of Persia, Wolfenstein 3D, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Alright, I've got a guess.
Do you guys have a guess? All three of you?
Yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Damn it.
Zach, what did you go with?
Secret of Monkey Island.
Dab, what did you go with?
Which one?
Dab Gape, sorry, Dab Gape.
Prince of Persia.
And Dab Weeks.
Same answer, Prince of Persia.
The answer is Prince of Persia, yes.
Yeah, great dabs think alike.
Yeah, great
The original
dabs think
2D one.
alike. Yeah, the original one, yeah.
I've got to look that up.
So if you want
never
dates,
seen the
Prince of
89
Persia was
version.
1989, Secret of Monkey Island was 1990, Sonic the Hedgehog was 91, and Wolfenstein 3D was 92.
Different games, Zach.
I forgot that Prince of Persia had like a really, really old original game. Like I'm just picturing like the fucking PlayStation ones.
What is the best-selling Final Fantasy game? This does not include Final Fantasy VII's remake sales, by the way. So if you're thinking of using that as an answer, it doesn't include the remake.
Best-selling Final Fantasy game.
Yes.
Do the online ones count?
No.
Okay.
I've never played a Final Fantasy game except for Final Fantasy 13. And Final Fantasy 13
you said that last time.
Is...
Oh, you played the worst one as well. That's
I know.
By
I think you'd quite like 10. See, because the 10's a good game.
I got a bit of a sour taste in my mouth after 13. I'm
10 is the most accessible one, I would say, and not that you need an accessible game, but it's if you're going to jump into a Final Fantasy game, it's the one that you can kind of you can go from there.
9's a lot of fun.
9 is awesome as well.
I'm going to play Lightning Returns next.
I played within the last 2 years. I played 7, 8, 9, 10, and I was playing 12, but I couldn't finish it. All right, let's go. 3, 2, 1. Send me your answers. Okay, Daf Gape, since you're already saying, what are you going to go with?
Final Fantasy 13.
Zach.
Surely not. Final Fantasy 7.
Daf Weeks.
10.
It was 7.
Final
Fantasy 7
re-releases.
7 has sold 13.1 million units in its lifetime, followed by 10, which is at 10.5 million units. Okay. Question number 13. Hail to the King, baby is a famous quote from the film Army of Darkness and is often used by a video game protagonist in his game series. Name that protagonist.
Yeah, if it's not this, it's wrong.
Hail to the King. I've never heard that.
Do you guys have an answer?
Is it? Yeah. I've got, I'll send
I have an answer.
I think if you know it, you know it. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Sammy, what you got?
Hail to the king, baby.
Hail to the king, baby. Daf Weeks, what have you got? Duke Nukem, Daf Gape?
Duke Nukem.
And Zach?
I actually put Duke Nukem.
It is.
I must have heard this before. There's no way I just came up with that.
It is definitely.
I've never heard. I can't picture that being said by anyone.
It is Nuke Dukem. That is exactly
Hail
right.
to the king, baby.
Question number 14. The mission by the book was another hugely controversial moment in the Grand Theft Auto series that led to a protest against Rockstar. But why was this mission controversial?
Which Grand Theft Auto game is it?
I didn't actually specify, so that might make it a little bit trickier. Because I think if I'd specified the game...
Would you repeat the question?
The mission by the book was another hugely controversial moment in the Grand Theft Auto series that led to protests against Rockstar. But why was this mission controversial?
I'm just gonna have to guess.
I've got an answer, but I don't think it's right.
If you want, I can give you all the game. Would you all want the game? Would that help?
It wouldn't help.
If you all want agree, then I'll tell you the game. Do you want the game?
Not green.
No, green. Okay, no, okay, cool.
Ooh.
Okay, all right. All right. Show me what you got. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, it's sending. I'll just say it out loud.
Okay. Daf Gape, what'd you go with?
Torturing.
Daf Weeks.
Yeah, torturing.
And Zach Hamilton.
A baby dies.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's not that. It is. Yeah. It's depiction of torture. We actually mentioned this in the podcast a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, baby dies. I mean, that's episode
GTA 5, right?
Yeah, GTA 5. Yeah, GTA 5.
God, I hate that level.
Yeah, it's so awful.
That's why I quit that game.
Yeah, it's not fun. I mean, it was apparently there was a big thing afterwards where they made a big deal about how it was to show that like it's not effective, but it's still not fun. Anyway, question number 15 and final question. The Game Awards in 2018 was an incredible event as the year had provided some of the best games of recent times. But which of these titles won Best Game? These are in alphabetical order. They are Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Celeste, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, and Red Dead Redemption 2. What a list of games.
Ooh, say those again.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Celeste, God of War, Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, Red Dead 2.
Cool.
What's the question?
Which one of those games won Game of the Year?
Oh.
One more time.
Which game? Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Celeste, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, Red Dead 2.
Okay.
You guys got an answer? Okay.
Yeah, I got an answer.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, send them over. Daf Weeks, what did you go with?
Red Dead 2.
Zach, what did you go with?
I think it was Spider-Man.
Daf Gape?
God of War.
It was God of War. It was a relative upset because pretty much everyone assumed that Red Dead Redemption 2 was going to take it. I'm playing God of War now, and it is an exceptional game. I haven't played it since I bought the 3D collection, but it is. I can see why it won, even though I love Red Dead 2. That is the end of the quiz. We do have a tiebreaker. Do you want me to tell you one first, or should we go into the tiebreaker and I'll tell you one after that?
Tell us who won.
Someone actually won straight off, so I may as well just tell you. With a whopping 7.5 points, is Daf Weeks.
No way!
No, wait, sorry. This is in third to first. I apologize.
Oh. God damn it.
That is the meanest
joke. Winning because you got half point for
You got half point, but could you imagine Grindelwald won it? Sorry, Dan. I was reading it and I was just about to turn up and say in third place.
I am livid, Johnny. I'll never live this down.
That is the funniest.
It's second place with a whopping 8. Actually, there was actually 1.5 points between third and first. So in second place with 8 is Daf Gape, which means Zach wins 2 weeks in a row with a whopping 9.
Yes!
I
got really lucky this week.
Yeah.
I got some questions I knew the answers to.
Yeah.
Very rarely happens.
Right, it's a tiebreaker just for funsies. And again, as always, we just try and get as close to it as possible. The Nintendo Wii Supreme is officially the most expensive console ever made, and it seems to have been created with expense in mind and nothing else. The console boasts 2.5 kilograms of 22 karat gold and 78 flawless diamonds. But how much did it sell for in dollars? Again, we're going to go to the closest number.
When was it sold?
I don't actually know when it was sold. It didn't give me the date it was sold, but let's just... I think it would have been... I think it's recently. It's a fact I got offline. Yeah.
I feel like I'm overshooting, but here's my answer.
Okay. The Davs, send me...
Okay. Coming through now.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Okay, what did you go for, Zach?
3.6 million.
Okay. Daf Weeks, what did you go with?
125,000.
25,000.
One of us is very wrong.
Daf Gape, what did you go with?
1,899.
Two of us are deadly wrong.
So the answer is $433,000, which means I think that means Daf Weeks has snuck that point.
Oh, I knows my expensive things, boys.
That is mad, isn't it? $433,000. If that person wants to buy me a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, I'm happy to take it. That is the end of the podcast, number 23. Thank you very much for listening today. If you enjoyed the show, then please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Patreon. Tell your friends and give us a review or a comment. It would really mean the world to us. Keep an eye on all of us as we will be streaming over the next week. I'll hopefully be doing some pairs or some Mario. Dav is going to do lots of wonderful things. You've been doing Fall Guys a lot recently, haven't you, Dav?
Fall Guys, tonight's going to be my last ever Warzone stream, so I'm deleting it on the weekend.
We'll claim back all those gigabytes.
Fair.
Yeah, exactly. A bit of Tony Hawk's, bit of Fall Guys, bit of this and bit of that, really.
Yeah, lovely. And Zach hopefully is going to be able to stream The Last of Us 2. Hopefully. We'll see how that goes as well. Thank you very much. This is all of us from Video Games Ahoy. We love you if you're listening. If you've got this far, we seriously love you. Lots of kisses from Zach. This is Video Games Ahoy.
Just from me.
No, just from Zach. He's you'd rather.
He's a kisser.
This is Video Games Ahoy, and we'll see you soon. Ahoy!
Ahoy!